Hi Community of Awesome, I'm Ava J and this is Bookish Pixie. So I've mentioned before that I'm a fast drafter. Basically that means what it sounds like. I write my first drafts very quickly. By very quickly I mean that usually my first draft will take me anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. While fast drafting isn't for everyone, I kind of need to write my first drafts quickly because it basically allows me to get to the end of the story without worrying about editing or how bad the draft is or getting bored, or basically it allows me to get out of my own way. I've now fast drafted about 10 manuscripts, so I figured I'd share some tips with you guys and with anyone who is interested in fast drafting. So here we go. First, if you can, plot first. I'm not going to say that this or even any of the tips I'm going to share today are mandatory because they are not, but I personally find it super helpful to establish a plot before I dive into the story. The reason this helps is when you are fast drafting, you kind of are writing so quickly that you need to be able to just zoom through the story, and it's a lot harder to do that if you have no idea where the story is going. I've actually found that plotting for me kind of got rid of most of my writer's block, because about 99.9% of my writer's block was because I had no idea what happened next, so I'd get all stuck because I wasn't sure where to go with the story. But when you plot in advance, you eliminate that entirely because you know where the story is going next. I'm gonna say it, I don't even like plotting, and in fact it's my least favorite part of the writing process, but I continue to do it and make it a mandatory part for my writing because I know how much easier it is to write when I have a plot in place, and I know how much less work I end up having to do, and it's become a vital part of my process. So even though I don't particularly like it, I find that while I don't like plotting, I like having plotted. And the only way to get there is to actually plot. So plotting helps if you want to write quickly, just saying. And a bonus to this, I've actually found it's also really helpful to write a back cover copy type summary, which is like those summaries you find in the back of the book or on the inside flap, because it helps me to focus and keep an idea of where the story is going in a general sense while I'm first drafting. Second, set a word count goal. I've already talked about weekly and daily word count goals in depth in my Not Procrastinating vlog, so I'll link to that below. But all I'm gonna say here is I find it really helpful to have either a daily or weekly writing goal so I can keep myself on track while I'm drafting. It also helped eliminate that writer guilt of maybe I haven't written enough today, which I used to get before I started using daily goals, so there's that. And because I suspect some people are going to ask, I usually aim for 2,000 words a day while I'm first drafting, but do what works for you. Third, get in the zone. For me, getting in the zone means putting on my noise canceling headphones, listening to music, and using a sprint program. Sprint programs are text editors that basically have a timer and some kind of goal. I use my Write Club Sprint feature, which I'll link to below, and basically it has an area where you write. Above that is a timer that counts down from 25 minutes, and then there's also a little progress bar that counts how many words you've written, and it gives you stars for every 100 words you write. I like it because it helps me to just focus on the writing for those 25 minutes, and it also appeals to the competitive part of me that wants to get more stars, so I find it really helpful. I actually wrote all about my Write Club Sprint feature, so I will link to that as well below. Fourth, don't look back. This is a big thing with fast drafting. The whole idea is that you get the whole story down and you don't edit. Look, first drafts are often terrible, and I've done entire vlogs on how terrible first drafts tend to be, but the truth is you just have to deal with it and get the story down. My first drafts forget important things that were supposed to be in the draft, and they have blanks and they tell instead of show, and they're not good. They're a first draft. But if you really want a fast draft and just get the story done quickly so that you can edit, then you need to just not worry about how bad the story is or how awful your characters are or whatever, and you need to just get the story down. So if you want a fast draft, don't edit, just get the story down, and then you can worry about making it better once you have a whole story to work with. So that's all I got for today. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe and comment, and I'll see you guys next week.